Okay.
Doc is ready. So I'm going to give a blanket welcome to everyone out here in webinar land and just welcome, 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 and get ready for some great information, some great news, and just get ready. It's in your hands, Doc.
Okay, thanks a lot, Queen. I appreciate that. Give me a moment. I thought I wrote, let's see. Okay. Fantastic. All right, so let's start off with very quick. We had, first off, those of you that were on the call earlier today, thank you for being there. Thank you for introducing yourself and making the CRB name something that people are starting to hear. And I think that's important, particularly from a massaging relationship standpoint with Lance and ultimately other folks in corporate, so that we can get information even quicker and more up to date and things of that nature. Okay, so here were some brief things here, and I will tell you this, that what you heard today was more of a leadership type call. I was told that I could open it up to everyone, so it was more of a leadership type call. There were a couple things there that I felt like Lance was being very, very, very conservative with, and I'll hit that tonight very quickly, and then we'll get into the training. So one of the ad partners that we've had with the surveys had a very low completion rate. People were kind of getting in this loop where they weren't getting approved for various of the surveys. And so basically they're taking those ad partners away. Now, what I had heard earlier, I think Dan texted this to me, is that it may take a little while to get them completely out of the system. So we might still be dealing with one or two of those ad partners that had a low completion rate. There was a gentleman who was on the call, and he said, he had some low completion rate initially, but then he just persevered, and now he's able to knock out surveys left and right. I think he completed 14 surveys in one day. I know today my wife was going through the surveys, and she got kicked out of a couple, but then now all of a sudden, she's knocking out surveys. I know she knocked out 2 right before we started on the webinar. There's going to be new advertising companies with new offers. What we haven't seen yet, which I anticipate we'll be seeing in the coming days and coming weeks, will be things like the simplicity of an email offer. We saw that when we were in pre-beta before they opened the gates back open with the enrollment. As well as I'm looking forward to the product giveaways. Those are going to be the ones I think that are going to pay the biggest amount for those who are doing activities for points. And obviously, the more points that there are, the more commissioning there's going to be. We'll get that all sorted out, what all that stuff means. I mean, we're still in beta, and I really want us to get that. We're still in beta. Once points are fully showing, once people can redeem those points. They did talk about gift cards. Apparently, and I wasn't aware of this, there had been a hiccup apparently with the gift cards, and they weren't sure if the gift cards was going to be a big function, which obviously, that we would have to alter our message from that standpoint with cash equivalents. But it sounds like that the gift cards are back on. Again, we're in beta. We'll patiently wait for those types of things. Be mindful that the easiest to complete. They said that what they'll be pushing out are the easiest to complete, highest value ads. And again, we got to bear with them. Nobody's ever done this. All right. If we were a nutritional company, a lot of companies have done nutrition before. You just simply find a good nutritional company and you model after them. If we were a weight loss company, a lot of companies have done weight loss and have been successful. You just find a weight loss company and you model after them. Nobody's doing what they've done. So there's nobody that you can go and say, okay, well, all right, they did this and we can model after that and maybe just make a couple of tweaks, so it's more our deal than their deal or what have you. So we just have to understand that. There's going to be, I don't know if Kinsey has posted the video today. We were working on other things for our audience. So maybe someone can tell me, maybe if you saw a video from Kinsey today or not, maybe in Facebook if you happen to be there. He did mention that customer service has greatly improved. Doesn't mean it's 5-star award-winning customer service just yet, but it's not. He said it's not the black hole that it once was. Yeah, give me a moment. Yeah, Carolina, persevere. The first what happened, what we've seen with the survey. Carolina is saying that she started to do a survey and said she wasn't approved and she was disappointed. I think everybody's run into that, all right? And you might have to go through a few of those surveys, and then finally they get, whoever the survey companies are or whatever it is they have in terms of their metrics in the background, figures a little bit more about you, who you are, what you like, what your income is, and what have you, and then they start serving up surveys that that fit you. So don't worry about that. I know it's frustrating, but this is beta, and for those of you that maybe have never really been at beta or just getting started and what have you, it is the most frustrating time, but it's also the most lucrative time, because this is when you start to build the foundation. This is when you start being able to attract leaders or attract people that will be groomed to be leaders. So what's going to happen? Let me tell you what's going to happen 2 years from now, 3 years from now. There's going to be folks that they're going to see you walking across the stage, Carolina, making your 6, maybe 7 figures or so, and they're going to say, man, I wish we were there when things first got started. And then you're going to laugh. All right, you might even bust a gut. And you're going to say, oh, I don't know if you would have wanted to have been there when we first got started, because there were a lot of little headaches because we kept banging our head up against the wall and what have you. That's just the nature of a company that's just launching, still in beta. But then when you take a look at the fact that we're in a technologically heavy industry with different ad partners, integrating those ad partners into the system, those ad partners getting to know us, we getting to know the ad partners, so on and so forth. And then, there's an app over here. And, when you add all that stuff up, this is a huge undertaking. And again, there is no company to model after. There is no Divvee 1.0. Who was that company before Divvee that did this? And I will remind you, some of you will remember this from back last summer to maybe in the fall, something that we were promoting. And we went back and that was a company that was promoting watching videos. And we went back and we looked at the timeline of YouTube. And nobody would have wanted to have been there at the start of YouTube from a technological standpoint. Yet everybody would have wanted to have been there if you could have gotten on the bandwagon and could have bought stock, or you were part of the team or what have you. If YouTube had a model like Divvee, early on they had their own challenges, believe me. All right, and I forget who it was. I think it was Facebook. Was it Facebook? I forget. It was one huge company now that whoever the owners were, they started off with, the top leadership of that company, whether it was Facebook or Microsoft, I forget which one. And it got too tough for them. They weren't tough enough, and they left. And they would have been multi-billionaires had they just stuck it out. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be multi-billionaires, but I certainly believe that we're going to change the face of the industry with this offer. I believe. Now, somebody asked a question about a person's own personal points, and would a person be able to make enough, make some decent revenue from their own personal points? And we probably didn't hear the answer that we would have all liked to have heard. But just getting to know Lance is very conservative, and he doesn't like to overpromise and underdeliver, because, to be honest with you, Divvee did overpromise and underdeliver earlier on. I don't fault them for that. I'm just glad that Lance is there to be an advocate for us. What I've heard from Kinsey and the types of offers that we haven't seen yet that are coming leads me to believe that that's not going to be the case, that you're going to be able, with your own actions, to generate significant enough points where it matters. And the reality is this: Divvee has to have that. If Divvee has to rely on this just being a regular network marketing company where people just go and recruit others and what have you, then we won't have the success that what Divvee has said. They've said they want 1 million people earning $500 a month. So there has to be, if I don't build a team, if I don't recruit yet, if I don't do this advertising co-op that we're going to be talking about tonight, but if I just do my own actions, I can justify the time that it spent me, whether I was spending 30 minutes a day or an hour a day or what have you, and doing my actions. She did say that Divvee wants to get to the point, and the plan is to get to the point where a person could spend 30 minutes to an hour a day doing their actions, and then obviously some of you have a lot more time than that, and so we'll see how all that comes to fruition. Just know that we're in beta, okay? And I just want to say thank you to our audience, because I'm hoping that you are seeing, for those of you who are on the call today, I hope you see just how more mature our audience is than maybe some other audiences with some of the questions that people raise. So I'm very, very excited that we have the people following us that we have following us. So that's a tribute to your maturity. And I don't say that from a age standpoint versus just a mental makeup standpoint. Okay? All right. So now, with that being said, now one of the things that one of my mentors taught me, he said that a good plan executed today is better than a perfect plan executed tomorrow. We're not going to wait for Divvee to be perfect before we start really paying attention and getting serious about traffic. Okay? We're going to do that now. We're going to do that now. Okay? And keep in mind that everything that we do and everything that we hope that you're starting to glean and that you will ultimately do in your business is all designed to build your second most important asset. Your first most important asset is you. All right? This is why it's important that you're always working on you so that you become a better you. Some type of personal development routine, some type of personal empowerment regimen, whether that is reading a book a week or what have you, whether that is listening to good, solid audios. Maybe that's watching a good YouTube video that really empowers you, not rah-rah stuff, really stretches you. That helps you to get through some of the rougher terrain. Why are you doing this? See, my why is so much bigger than the little obstacles that we face. But you have to know what your why is. And you have to rehearse your why. And you have to ignite your why. So you always want to be working on yourself. Your business is not your offer, as much as we love Divvee. And obviously you can see we've put a lot of time, effort, energy, resources behind promoting Divvee. And then number two, you're following. You're following, all right? And that starts with a list, but then ultimately we start to cultivate that list so that we start to develop a following. And so some of you have been following us for years. Some of you started following us maybe about this time, about June, July-ish of last year, when we were promoting an offer. And that offer didn't quite work out the way we wanted it to work. However, we still have a lot of folks that had never heard of us before then that are now on this webinar, and now you're part of our following. So that's the most important thing that we're doing. We don't have to have Divvee running on all cylinders to start building our following. Okay, so let's go to work. We're going to focus on the reward. Now, I'm going to do a little review. Many of you have heard this. You've seen this. You're now starting to, it's starting to become a part of you. But I also want to do this because we very well, and I'm sure we have quite a few new folks. So here's the secret sauce in marketing, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care what the offer is right now, whether it's Divvee, whether it's Something in Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin is exploding, hitting all-time highs over $1,500 a coin. We did a webinar a couple of weeks ago. I think Bitcoin was about $1,200, $1,250 a coin. In just a couple of weeks, it's gone from that to $1,500 a coin. You know, obviously, that whole space is really, really hot right now. Got to be careful though, because there's some scams out there. But in any event, whether you're in Bitcoin or whether you're in health and wellness, whether you're in weight loss, whatever the niche happens to be, the secret sauce is the same, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to make it online, the secret sauce is the same. Real quickly, you got to drive traffic. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. But it needs to be steady, consistent traffic, and it needs to be laser targeted traffic. Not all traffic is the same. All right, make a note of that. Not all traffic is the same. So you've got to drive steady, consistent traffic. And then you want to start to scale that up. As you start to generate more revenue in your business, you take a percentage of that revenue, you recap, you reinvest back in your business so you can scale the traffic. Marketing is about, ladies and gentlemen, it's about the law of averages, but the law of averages requires the law of large numbers. You flip a coin 4 times, don't know what you're going to get. 4 heads, 0 tails, 3 tails, 1 head. But we know if we flipped it 4,000 times, then the law of averages come into being with the law of large numbers. That's why it's important that you have a consistent flow of laser targeted traffic. Now, we don't want to send people just to an offer page where we are announcing the name of the company. We now should know, if you've been following us for any length of time, that that is a huge mistake that many marketers make. When they do that, you make it easy for people like me that camp out on YouTube. All right, you make it easy for me to recruit your people away. You don't want to do that, okay? And I don't want you to do that. All right, but when you announce the name of the company prematurely, that's exactly what you do, because people now go to YouTube, or people now go to Google, or people now go to Facebook to get a little bit more information on that particular company, and then they hear somebody's message that resonates with them. My message doesn't resonate with everyone, but it resonates with the people that that get me. And so you don't want to send this traffic to some type of offer page. You don't want to send them straight to Divvee. Now, someone was saying to me, because Divvee does not have its presentation, whatever the presentation is going to be, and they were almost kind of lamenting that, and I'm like, I don't care. I never use the company's presentation anyway. And the reason I never use the company's presentation is because the company's presentation is designed to only talk about the company. The company's presentation almost never addresses the pains and the struggles of the people you're trying to recruit and get into your business. You want a presentation, you want messaging that addresses the pain and the struggle. Typically, a company presentation is going to focus on, here's the product, here's the service, and here you make some money. But it doesn't really address the pain and the challenges that people are facing. So I can't remember the last time I used a company presentation. And obviously, that's one of the reasons why we've developed CRB. You've got plenty of presentation in CRB. So we want to drive that traffic to the capture page. Now, here's the thing I want you to get. The capture pages that we have set up right now in CRB. We did add some capture pages for those of you that are doing advertising on Craigslist that's specific to Craigslist. Let me show you that real quickly so you know what that is. Give me a moment. I might get kicked out. Okay, so really quickly, what's happening over here? Bear with me. If you go in under my web pages, for those of you who have CRB, we've got categories over here. If you come down, second to the last one, it says Craigslist new sales process. There are 3 capture pages specific to those of you that are advertising on Craigslist or other classified sites from the Craigslist training that some of you purchased a few weeks ago. Okay, so these are the capture pages that you want to use for Craigslist. Again, where was that? That was under my web pages, second to the last, where it says new sales process. Okay, All right, now let's get back to what we're talking about here. Now, what we've done with the capture pages that are in CRB, they're designed specifically to talk to network marketers or online marketers, people that are trying to make money online. This is what we know about them. We know that 95% of them or more are failing because they're not good, they're new, they stink, or they suck at marketing, okay? And so that is when we do the search traffic campaign, that's our target market. People that are already in marketing, all right? We're gonna be able to get some leaders, but most of the marketplace is not made up of leaders. You've got, 2-3% leaders. When I say leaders, people that have big organizations and so on and so forth, okay? But the majority of folks are our Joe and Susie averages that have had a struggle at marketing at this point. They may have a few people that follow them, 2, 3, 4, 10, 15, 20, all right? But in terms of having hundreds or thousands, most people are not at that point. That's not going to be you, however. If you follow what we teach and follow what we're doing, that's not going to be you. Everything that we do is to help you to build your following, to help you to get to that 2-3%, that 5% elite, okay? All right, so this is going to be important who we are appealing to, all right? And notice we don't say Divvee here, we don't say CRB here, okay? This is generic, and it says, we've got a full-blown point-by-point system for getting paid over and over again. Of course, we've got other capture pages that have different messaging, okay? That's going to be important for what I'm about to share with you about search traffic. That's going to help you build your list. So we want to drive traffic to where we're building a list, all right? We provide value to that list. Most people are not going to join or buy from the first video they see, from the first sales video. So when they opt in with our system, they go to a sales video. Most people aren't going to join then. Most people aren't going to buy then, okay? I need you to get that, all right? Most people buy and join because the fortune is in the follow-up. And we follow up by having a robust follow-up system, in our case, a robust email system, 31-day follow-up. And then we talk about the offer within the confines of providing value. So you wrap your pitch, you wrap the offer in value. Now, many of you have seen that, you've heard that, and you're starting to understand that the more and more you see and hear that. One of the things that we've done with our audience, we've said, okay, we're going to take this pledge that says we're going to do our actions, so we generate our cash equivalent, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take a minimum of 50% of what we generate, maybe as much as 100% from our own personal actions, and we're going to reinvest that back into our business in the form of proper tools, resources, and I'm going to talk about tonight the paid marketing, the paid traffic, okay? And then ultimately, as we start to scale that, I'm going to start getting people to join us, and they're doing their actions, and they get people to join them, and they're doing their actions. That's going to generate commissions and override income, and we're going to take a minimum of 25% of those override income, or that override income, and we're going to recap back in our business. Make a note. Ultimately, your biggest business expense should be advertising, okay? Ultimately, your biggest business expense should be advertising. And I wish I had gotten this years ago. Back before I knew anything about really marketing on the internet, here we were, we're making, with one venture, we're 20 grand a month. If I had known then, I should be taking at least 25% of that, 5,000 a month, and that was just going towards recapping back in my business. Most of that would have been advertising. And we've had, situations where we made a whole lot more than $20,000 a month, but I did not get this message then. I want you to get it. That's why I keep pounding the drum and pounding the drum and pounding the drum on it. Okay, now, let's now start talking about this search traffic, what it is, and the co-op that we'll be starting. We're probably going to start the co-op. Well, I'll talk about that later. I'll talk about the time frame later. All right. All right, so here is the traffic vision for our audience. Give me a moment. Let me make sure. That's not important. Give me a moment. Okay. Here's the traffic vision for our audience. All right. I want to see you commit to mastering being able to self-generate traffic, self-generate leads. 1, 2 methods. So those of you that purchased the Craigslist course here a couple weeks ago, don't just let that thing sit up there and collect dust. All right. I want you to become a master of that. And if you stub your toe, if you have an ad that gets flagged, don't let that stop you. Go to the Facebook room, communicate with Jeff, master that. There's some folks they stop because they got an ad that got flagged by Craigslist, and then there were others that persevered, like Larry Fobbs, and I don't know what the last tally is, but I know he had generated I think well over 100 leads. All right. Craigslist, it might be Twitter, it might be Facebook. I want you to develop 1 or 2. I want you to take 1 or 2 traffic methods in time. Don't start off with 2. Start off with 1. Get good at 1. Then graduate to a second, where you know you can generate traffic all on your own, no matter what. No matter what the offer is you're generating traffic for, you can generate traffic. That is power. We have given up way too much power because we didn't take the time to learn a little bit about traffic. But traffic is one of the keys. How can we not say I'm going to at least learn one area of traffic if we gotta have traffic? Traffic is the lifeblood. No traffic, no eyeballs. You can have the best offer in the world, but if you don't get traffic to that offer, you ain't gonna make no money. And I know my mama's gonna get me for that horrible use of King's English. That was not the King's English there at all. You're not gonna make any money. Yet you can have somebody with a mediocre offer that gets traffic consistently to that offer, and they make money. I look at my own business. I've attended a ton of webinars and invested a lot of money in masterminds, and some of the folks that I've actually paid a lot of money to learn about marketing, I sit back and I say, my gosh, I can do a much better webinar than that. And then shoot, if I give a little golden silky vocals, then my gosh. But they were the ones generating 8 figures. I've done 7, not 8. Because they mastered 1 or 2 traffic methods. I want you to commit to that, okay? Now, we have in our back office in CRB, we've got a system under the Affiliate Center that is an email traffic platform. It's a paid form of traffic. You just say, hey, I want to get so many visitors to my site. They give you the pricing of how much it costs to get so many clicks to your site, clicks being visitors to your site, and you simply pay for it, okay? We've used that in the past. We've had some good success in the past. We've had some campaigns that didn't work out as well, that didn't work out as well for our mobile marketing campaign, but there have been other campaigns that worked out very well. I'm going to be testing that in the next week or 2, and then we'll report back on that. That's an email traffic system. So basically what happens is, some of you are familiar with solo ads. This is a notch above solo ads. What a solo ad is where you go and you essentially you're renting someone else's email list. Okay, so they have an email list they've been building, and you say, hey, I want to send out my offer to them. I want to get 500 visits, 500 clicks. They send out the message to their email list. Your ad is the only one in there, hence the name solo ad. And you get clicks to your to your web page. You get a certain amount of people that's going to opt in. They then hear the sales video. They're now in your autoresponder message, so on and so forth. Now, up to this point, this has been one of the primary ways that I did paid traffic. Was either the system you see in the back, which is quite a bit above just a regular solo ad, or with solo ads. So that's there. The advantage of that is you can see a lot of traffic very quickly. So meaning if you were to go and do a 500 click campaign, all right, you would see those 500 visits hitting your site, hitting your capture page in just a few days time. So you kind of get this rush of traffic, okay? The challenge with that, however, is if you don't have a decent sized marketing budget, and I'm going to assume that most don't right now, okay, that doesn't provide the consistency, because maybe you did a solo ad campaign today, but it takes you another month before you're in a position to do another campaign. You want consistency. And that's what we're going to talk about with our done-for-you paid traffic co-ops. Now, we're going to talk about one today. We're launching one in the next few weeks. But then I'll give you our grander vision for our co-ops. Okay? All right, so what we're going to talk about tonight is search traffic. Down the road, we'll also be launching co-ops with YouTube paid traffic. So let's just focus tonight on search traffic, okay? So here are key points that you need to be aware of when we're talking about traffic or lead generation, all right? Traffic is going to get us to lead generation, meaning you got to have the traffic first to capture the lead, for someone to put their email address or their cell phone into the capture form and you get the lead. Okay. All right, so we've already discussed this. Most people, please understand that most people are not going to buy, they're not going to join from the initial sales or the initial presentation video. Remember, in most cases when we're doing traffic, this is cold traffic. They don't know you, they don't know me from Adam or Eve or what have you, okay? And so they opt in. You know, most aren't even going to watch the full sales video. Even if the sales video was a 5-minute video, most are not going to watch the 5-minute video. All right, they're going to watch 2 or 3 minutes. If it's an hour video, most are not going to watch the full hour. They're going to watch 10, 15, 20, whatever it happens to be. It's the follow-up mechanism that's so important. So you've got to have a robust follow-up system. You must have a robust follow-up system. So where a lot of people have faltered in the past is they did some type of traffic or lead generation, but there was no back-end follow-up system, or it wasn't robust enough. It didn't provide enough value. Now, you don't have that issue if you are in CRB, okay? You've got to also remember this. This is so key. You are building an asset. That list of yours is an asset. Now, here's the challenge when it comes to lead generation or traffic generation, is because we don't view it as an asset, we think of it as a microwave approach, okay? If you were dealing in real estate, whether you were buying rental properties or whether you were buying properties to flip them, or you were investing in mutual funds or in the stock market or what have you, there you're building up an asset base. Even if you're in Bitcoin, okay? You're typically not going to engage in some type of Bitcoin offer where maybe you're buying Bitcoin or some other coin, and tomorrow you're going to be profitable with that, where you sell and you've realized the profits. Maybe the coin increased in value, but you're maybe holding on to it. You're building that what? Asset. So we have to understand that your list is an asset that you are building. Your asset doesn't necessarily pay off right away. When I say pay off right away, when you're dealing with the cold market, you got to build a bond with that market. You've got to build a relationship with that market, which is why you need to have a very robust follow-up system, particularly online, because people have been, they're jaded because they've tried so many things and most things have not worked for them. All right, so they hear the message, they like the message, but they're not necessarily ready to join right now. They're not necessarily ready to buy right now in most cases. That's why you need that follow-up system and understand that you are building an asset. So some people may not join right away. Most people that are going to join you, most people that are going to buy from you are not going to do it when they first heard the presentation. It's going to be because your system continues to provide value to them. And then it hits them on the right day. Okay? All right. Something else is very important. Consistency is key. So one of the challenges with email marketing or buying a solo ad or what have you is people may go out and they might invest $300, $400, $500 to get, a few hundred quick hits to their site. All right. And that does give you a rush when you see people hitting your site and you see opt-ins, and that gives you that rush. But then that rush goes away very quickly, because unless you have a follow-up campaign, in terms of email traffic, then you're not going to see any more new leads coming in. Now, obviously, one advantage is those of you that have the Craigslist course, if you're not just allowing it to collect dust, but you're using the Craigslist course, you should be getting to the point where you're seeing some consistent leads. And if you're not, then I want to challenge you to press through, persevere, go to the Facebook group if you're having any challenges, and communicate with Jeff on that wise. Okay, so consistency is going to be key. You're going to see how this co-op is going to provide consistency. Now, one of the major challenges in paid traffic is it requires testing, and this is a challenge for most people. Okay, I'm going to show you how our co-op is going to overcome that challenge. Another challenge with paid marketing is it requires quite a bit of tweaking. So I remember, this is back in maybe 2013-ish or maybe 2014-ish, I invested quite a bit to go through a Facebook marketing mastermind. I invested something like $6,000 to go through a Facebook marketing mastermind, and we got a live webinar, like once a week for like 6 weeks or something like that. And the challenge I had with doing Facebook advertising was, you'd have to test, and you need to have like 2 or 3 different images to see which image was giving you the best click-through rate. Meaning people, when they saw it, they would click on to the link, and then you had to always keep testing and always keep tweaking. And it was a challenge for me, and I'm full-time in my business. So I know that was full-time would be a challenge for a lot of folks, especially people that are not necessarily techie people, or they're not administrative people. So those are challenges in paid marketing. Now, obviously, if you're going and you're doing email traffic like the system that's in the back office that we'll be testing, and we'll let you know how that went, or solo ads, you're not having to worry about that as much. But there's something to the testing, and there's something to the tweaking. The more you test, the more you tweak, then the more you can zero in and get a more laser targeted lead. So you want testing and tweaking, but we would just love to let someone else do the testing and tweaking. That's what we're going to do with our co-op. We're going to let someone else do that. The other thing about traffic generation, paid traffic generation, what I love is it allows you to scale. So most people are going to get started. You're going to pay it forward if you want to participate in the co-op, because most of you have not made a lot of money or haven't made any money in Divvy. We're just kind of getting things started yet. So you're going to pay things forward if you want to be in the co-op. But once you start generating revenue, and that revenue starts getting a little more and a little more, if you're taking our pledge at heart, then you're simply, let's say you're applying the same percentage of what you are going to recap back into your business, but as your revenue increases, then what you are recapping also increases and allows you to scale. The great thing about paid traffic is that you can scale. Okay, so maybe if you were at $1,000 in override income and you did the minimum of our pledge and you did $250 towards marketing, which part of that obviously being paid traffic, well then all of a sudden when you're up to $5,000 a month, 25% of that is $1,250. Well, that means you've got more traffic. Okay, So that's why paid marketing is so important. So now let's talk about search traffic in particular. We're talking about like Google AdWords or search traffic on Yahoo, search traffic on Bing. And so let me not assume that you know what this stuff means. Let's keep it very elementary for you. So let's say that a person is interested in Jeunesse. Jeunesse is one of the bigger, doing exceptionally well network marketing companies out there in like the skincare line or what have you. I'm not promoting Jeunesse, so this is not an endorsement of Jeunesse. This is just training, okay? All right, so somebody goes to Google and they type in Jeunesse. Now, there are courses out there, there are people out there that will talk about search engine optimization, SEO, which is where you're organically trying to rank to get on the front page of Google or Yahoo or Bing, okay, or YouTube, okay? And that requires a lot of work. That requires a lot of extreme technical know-how. It requires, in some cases, that you're hiring somebody that's doing, you know, all this stuff to help you stay on the home page through through SEO. Okay. Well, the challenge with that is if Google or Yahoo or Bing changes their algorithm, what causes you to rank higher onto the page, then you could go from being on the front page today and be on the second, third, fourth, 15th page. And we all know that if you're on the 15th page, you're probably not going to be seen a lot. In most cases, if you're on the second page, you're not going to be seen. So one of the great things about paid marketing with search traffic is you can pay to be on the front page. All right. So if somebody typed in Jeunesse, you see here, these are organic search terms here. All right. So people probably worked to get Jeunesse on the home page. Maybe hired an SEO expert or what have you, where somebody else just simply said, let's open up a Google account, Google AdWords account. Let's tie my credit card with it, and I want to be on the front page. All right, and so there we have, even before all this hard work down here, you're either going to pay with your time or you're going to pay with your money. Now, for our folks with Craigslist, we said, hey, pay that one time, learn the skill set, master the skill set, get free leads for life. And that's great. We want to pair with that automated traffic, automated ways for you to get traffic. And that means we're going to invest a few dollars to get that to happen. All right. Now, what do we know about someone who sees this ad? They probably have some interest in what? Jeunesse, because they are the ones that put in this search term, also known as a keyword. Okay? So what happens with search traffic is we're positioning our ad in front of someone that has put in a specific keyword. And when they put in that keyword or keyword phrase, then our ad is there. So that's a more laser targeted lead. Okay. Here's another example, another company. I guess you call that Relive. All right. Notice the first two things you see here are ads. Okay. Ads. Okay, so the ads appear in Google even above the top search SEO type results. Now, what's happening here is whoever has this ad here is bidding. They're saying, I'm willing to pay a certain amount in a range for a cost per click. And so that's going to determine, that bidding process is going to determine if that ad is in the first position here or the second position or the third position or what have you. Okay? All right, so this is a way to have your message getting in front of people that have typed in a certain keyword or keyword phrase. Let's go over here to Bing. All right. So let's say that someone was interested in network marketing and they typed in network marketing here. All right. So obviously you see for that search term, network marketing, which is a broad search term, I can tell you for someone to be here on the front page without paying, they did a lot of work, a lot of SEO, but that could change at any moment. Yet here comes somebody that does this ad right here. You see that ad? And they are above all this hard work right here. They simply bidded for the keyword, in this case, network marketing. And then over here, you also have a couple of more ads over here. And I think I got one more with this one. All right, that's the same one, network marketing, and you can see other ads over here, okay? Now, with search traffic marketing, whoever the advertiser is, they're charged when someone clicks onto the ad. All right, so if I just put in network marketing as my search term, and here's an ad here, here's an ad here, here's an ad here, here's an ad here, okay? If I don't click on this, that's not charging the advertiser, okay? If I click on this, then the advertiser is going to be charged, and it just depends on how competitive that particular keyword happens to be. There's going to be some keywords like network marketing. It's pretty competitive. That's a broad term. If there was a keyword that said relive login or Divvee login, all right, well, that search term isn't going to be nearly as competitive. It's not as many people are typing in Divvee login versus Divvee.Social or Divvee, okay? Divvee login, the only people who are going to type in Divvee login are going to be people that are probably in Divvee that they're trying to figure out, how do I get to my back office? That's a much narrower search term, keyword phrase, yet it costs less to have an ad pop up with a much narrower keyword term, okay? So there's an advantage of having a broad keyword term like network marketing, but there's in that there's going to be more traffic, but there's also an advantage of having a keyword term like Divvee login, because not as many people are searching for that on a monthly basis, so it wouldn't cost as much to bid to have an ad there, okay? All right. So why paid traffic? Well, you get your ad on the front page. You don't have to worry about SEO. You don't have to worry about, is your ad on the second page or the third page or fourth page. No, that ad, is going to be on the front page. You are typically, you're typically getting in front of buyers or joiners. Now, here's the difference between email traffic, even the system that we have in the back office that I think is a really good system, and we'll run a campaign and we'll let you know just how good it is or is not. If it sucks, we'll let you know and we'll just kick it out of there. If it does well, we'll let you know. So that's also another automated traffic type of option for you. Give me a moment, get a little water. Okay, so when someone does a search through a search engine, they're looking for something, okay? This is a buying action. This is a joining action. That's different than someone going into Facebook and seeing an ad. Why is it different? Because people don't go to Facebook for the purposes of being advertised to. They go to Facebook to connect with friends and relatives and loved ones and what have you. Maybe now to get news, because a lot of people get their news from Facebook, okay, and other social media sites. Actually, are they social media sites or are they advertising sites disguised as social media? Okay, so what happens when someone is searching is they are doing that. They are searching. They are the one taking the initiative to go to Google or Yahoo or Bing, and there's other search engines out there, but those are the biggest ones. YouTube obviously is a search engine also. They're taking the initiative to go to the search engine and to type in certain keywords. Now, they may not know that it's called keywords. They may not know it's called a keyword phrase, but they're going in because they're interested in finding out about Divvee. So they put in Divvee. They're interested in finding out about Jeunesse, and they put in Jeunesse, or Jeunesse compensation, or Jeunesse review, or what have you, okay? What that tells us, though, is that that person, see, our target market for the campaign that we've already done, the email campaign that we have in place, the capture pages that we've done, our target market is it is or are? Our target market is. Our target market is or are? Are the anyway? Our target market is are other marketers. Those campaigns are designed for people that are already in our space that in most cases, most people in our space are struggling. So if we are camped out at Jeunesse and Amway and ACN and what have you, and people are going searching for ACN, searching for Jeunesse, we want to have an ad there. And I'll show you one of the sample ads as our search traffic folks are already running some campaigns, testing campaigns, optimizing campaigns. So once the co-op starts, they already know what's working best. All right, and they'll continue to tweak going forward, okay? With search traffic, you know what people are thinking based on the keyword. So you can then tailor your message to what they are searching for. And that gives you a more laser targeted lead, all right? And again, you have the buyer or the joiners being intent versus an ad interruption. When you go to Facebook and you're going through your news feed, you're looking for, to connect with your loved ones. That's the other day I was in Facebook. I'm not in Facebook a lot right now just because of time. I'll do better if you've got messages that I've not responded to. That's just because I haven't had the time yet. We'll get there. We're still in beta with CRB. Okay, it's a lot of work still that needs to be done. But I'm in there very quickly the other day, and I'm going through my news feed, and I see Anita Hall with a picture of her mom. All right, I think it was a video of her mom. I didn't have time to really watch the video, but she's in my news feed. Well, I'm not in my news feed to get advertised to yet. There are advertisements there, all right? With search traffic, there's not this interruption. People are intending to go to get some type of answer, some type of solution to a problem. So people go to search engines because they either have a problem or they're going to investigate something. And so we want to have an ad there that is going to potentially resonate with that person who's typing in a certain keyword or keyword phrase or search term. This type of traffic is highly scalable. So most of you are going to start with the minimum you can get started with just because that's where you are and you haven't made any money yet and you're paying it forward. Some of you might do a little bit more because you've got a little bit more resources. But once you start building this asset and you start getting people joining you, doesn't mean that the first leads or the first few leads are going to join right away. All right, that's why we did a 31-day follow-up series. All right, now I know in your back office it looks like it's 30. It's actually 31 because the first message doesn't go out. When someone opts in, they get an immediate message. And then the next day, that what says first message is going out the first day after they've opted in. So when you really do the math, it's 31 days. All right, so it's highly scalable, right? Even within the co-op, as you know, maybe you started off with one co-op share because that's where you are, all right? And then down the road, maybe you're adding a second share. Now you've got 2, then you've got 3, and then you've got 5. and you've got 7, and you've got 10, so on and so forth, okay? Paid search traffic, particularly with the way we're going to do it with the co-op, because you really aren't going to have to do anything other than buy your share or shares. It automates the traffic. It automates it because there's going to be ads running. You're not going to have to worry about the testing and the tweaking. That's what we're hiring a search traffic agency for. I'm not doing all of that stuff. However, I will be meeting with them every few days, as already they would, I had a call the other day, and we've already started doing some testing, by the way, just so you know. He sent me a couple of videos today to show me how things are going and what keywords are starting to, not keywords, what ads are getting some results, maybe above another ad, and so on and so forth. All right, so you want to automate, ultimately you want to automate your traffic. Ultimately, you want to be able to go inside of Divvee and go into the travel portal and say, oh, I'm going to go on a nice condo vacation, or I'm going to go on a cruise, and I'm going to unplug from my business for a week or 10 days or what have you, or maybe attend to the weightier issues, the weightier matters of in life, and still know that your business is building because you've got high quality laser targeted traffic that's on automatic pilot coming through your system, and you don't have to be there because you've got this robust follow-up system, okay? I remember when I felt like I had finally found the holy grail of marketing. I think it was back in 2014. I put together a 30-day, this is where this came from. I put together a 30-day autoresponder series. All right, took me a while to put it together, probably 30 to 60 days, to get it all put together. Every message had a video, and I was promoting a particular offer. I did use the company's sales page, all right? So I had my own lead capture page. Somebody opted in. They went to the company's sales page. Most people did not join from the sales page, but it was the autoresponder series follow-up. Okay, I never talked to anyone. I didn't do a live webinar. All right, I didn't send out any additional emails to that list saying, hey, join me on this webinar. We're going to talk about this. Didn't do that. I just had a value-based email series. And that was the only campaign that I was doing. And at the end of that particular campaign, we invested about $1,500 in some solo ads. And we had about 400 leads. And we had 8 people that joined us, all cold traffic, never knew us, never talked to us. 8 recruit. Now, the problem with that offer was we just didn't make enough to be able to come back and do it again. Remember I said you need to have consistency? So we didn't, I could have done it again because we had some resources, but not because we generated enough money from that campaign. And so that wasn't something I could come back to our audience and say, hey guys, you can do this too. Invest $1,500 and make about $400 back initially, and then it's going to take a while before you see your money back. Now the difference with Divvee, and this is why we're so high on Divvee, is your campaign doesn't have to be at break even right away if you're doing your actions and you're generating points that you can then turn into cash equivalents. So this allows you to start to have a consistent advertising budget, consistent advertising results, okay? Arguably, the most laser-targeted traffic there is comes from paid search. So we introduced our in-house traffic guru here a few weeks ago, Jeff, and I know Jeff's mentor, a gentleman by the name of Vince Reed. Vince did 25, according to Jeff. I've not spoken with Vince in a while. Vince supposedly did $25 million in revenue in 2016. $25 million. Now, he's a traffic guy. He teaches traffic, teaches a whole lot of traffic strategies and what have you, okay? Vince asserts that the best traffic is paid search traffic. Well, I'm going to give way to the guy who's done $25 million in a year in this business. All right, that's athlete money. All right, search traffic. Because people are going with intent to put in a keyword or keyword phrase, and your ad is popping up based on that keyword or keyword phrase. All right, so I want to show you real quickly a little of the test that's happening right now. All right, it's already begun. Now, it's just a light test because obviously we know that Divvee changed the enrollment process late last week. We had to cut a new video because of that. Then there was a little piece of code, Charles, Howard, I think you sent this ticket in. There was a little piece of code that was missing. So what should have happened is that when somebody now clicks on the call to action button, there is a button for them to click and to take them to your Divvee enrollment link. Somebody remind me, Queen, remind me before we finish the web, or maybe when we get into the optional Q&A, to make sure that everybody knows where they are to put their Divvee enrollment link in the CRB back office. Maybe some of you have not seen us talk about that. That's very, very important. So this test has been light so far because we've had to make some changes. But we wanted to go on and start getting some testing done so that by the time the actual co-op starts, our search traffic folks have already figured out some of the ads that are the best performing ads. All right, so here's an example. All right, so here's an ad here. All right, super profitable home biz, best home business 2017. You can see they're using Click, Rank, and Bank right here. And here's the more on the ad. Biggest home business 2017. Get paid over and over, even if you can't recruit. All right, here's another ad. New way to earn MLM income. Top income opportunity 2017. You can see this is Click, Rank, and Bank. New groundbreaking system helps folks get paid over and over again. Here's another one. Huge income opportunity. Best home business 2017. You can see the link here. The biggest home business this year. Get paid even if you can't recruit. And here's another one. Best income opportunity 2017. Start winning in MLM. A fail-proof step-by-step guide on how you can build a six-figure empire. Okay? All right, so now, this is what I mean by testing and tweaking. This is the kind of stuff that if you were doing this on your own, you would be doing, all right? Coming up with ad copy to see what's working the best. The thing is, you don't know until you test, all right? So I don't want to have to do all that. And who wants to do that? If you don't want to have to do all that, put an N in your questions box. No, I don't want to do all that. Yeah, nobody. Yeah, I don't want to have to do all that. Okay. So we're leveraging a search traffic agency. This is what they do. As a matter of fact, when they started these tests, they were using, get this, over 2,500 keyword or keyword phrases. Over 2,500. From broad phrases like network marketing, MLM, to very narrow phrases like I'm saying Janesh Login. I don't know if they use that, but where they were targeting specific companies in network marketing. And what he told me today is that once I give him the green light, once we've got everything that I know, we've got all the links right and what have you from the modifications that we've had to make since the new enrollment process. He says by the time I give him the green light, he'll have over 5,000 keywords or keyword phrases that we'll be looking to when someone types in that, we'll have an ad. Okay. Now you can see this again. This is very small. This is a small sample size. You can see that with this particular ad here, all right, there were 1,813 impressions, meaning somebody went and they typed in a certain keyword or key phrase, and the ad was either above or on the right-hand side. All right, that's an impression. All right, we don't pay because there's an impression. We pay when someone clicks. So I can tell you that a click-through rate of, well, you know what? Let me not say that because I know what we were expecting in with banner advertising, which is really low. I should have asked him what type of click-through rate he's looking for in search traffic. So I'll have to get that for you, okay? But I know when we talked about this, he was really pleased. He was really pleased with all these click-through rates, but he was really pleased with this one here, okay? Now, hasn't been a lot of traffic sent to it yet. You can see here, look at this. Average cost per click, only 21 cents. Average cost per click, only 21 cents. This ad here, not as much impressions yet. Decent amount of, I'm sorry, got more impressions than this one, I'm sorry. All right, so not as many clicks per impression, but got 36 clicks, and our cost per click is only 17 cents. Now compare that. I know this. I know that there is a guy that's really big in solo ads, and I'm not here to foo-foo you on him, called Igor. All right, how many of you have gotten stuff, or maybe you've done a campaign with Igor? Igor Kafitz, I believe it is. If you guys know of Igor in the solo ad world, put a yes in your questions box. You know of Igor, okay? Has anybody ever done, I've got a few yeses. Has anybody ever gotten a solo ad from Igor? And if so, do you remember what your cost per click was? Anybody ever done a solo ad with him or inquired about a solo ad and you know what his cost per click was? Hey, Don, do you remember what it was? I don't know. You got a cost per click with Igor for 65 cents? I ain't never seen Igor with 65 cents cost per click. Well over $1, like $1.80 is the lowest I've seen. $1.50 to $1.80 per click. Christopher's saying $4. Now, a normal solo ad provider might be 65 cents a click, okay? Bruce said he charged. Bruce, I've never seen him charge $1. You probably have to go pretty much on the high up on the scale to get a whole bunch of clicks from him. All right. So, but my point is, this is the potential that we have in terms of a much lower cost per click, which means that you have more people getting their eyeballs onto the lead capture page. All right. This one here, 23 cents cost per click. This one here, 24 cents cost per click. Now, I can tell you that he had done a little over 100 clicks, and we had gotten, no, I think he was at 80 clicks or so, and we had gotten 11 leads from those 80 clicks, I believe it was. So I have to go back and do what the percentage. So a lot of times what you'll have in email marketing is you'll have people saying, hey, they got a 30%, they got a 30% opt-in rate, or 40% opt-in rate, or 50% opt-in rate. Okay, you're normally not going to get opt-in rates like that from search traffic, but what you will typically get is real, authentic information. Okay, a lot of times when someone is just responding to a solo ad and they click on the link that the email sent out, they see the capture page. A lot of times they're going to put in abc@def.com. You know, some type of email address that either is not authentic or they don't use. When someone is using search traffic, or someone is searching, they're searching for a solution to a problem that they have. They're more apt. All right, because no, we didn't intrude on them. All right, this wasn't like an ad in Facebook. This was not an intrusion. They're the ones that went in and put in the search query. They're the ones that saw the ad there, and then they are the ones that decided to click on that ad. So what's happening between now and the time that the co-op actually officially starts is he's working out different combinations of ads, and then he'll be able to really hone in on the messaging that's getting the best. Also, he'll be testing a number of our capture pages. One of the things that we were waiting on was for our programmer to put in the tracking links that he needed, and which he just did. All right, and so that way he's going to be, he being the traffic guy, is going to be able to track to see not only which ads are getting the best cost per click. That's only part of the equation. And again, let's make sure everybody understands this. Meaning, every time someone clicks this ad, it costs us money. All right. In other forms of marketing, like email marketing, you might get a solo ad where the solo ad provider is charging 60 cents for a click, or 65 cents for a click, or 70 cents for a click. And that's still pretty reasonable. Okay. There are others that charge $1 or more per click. Here, 17 cents a click, 23 cents a click. Now, the other metrics that we need to measure is not just cost per click, but cost per lead, and that's where he needed to have the tracking. When I have done email marketing, solo ads, things like that, I would tend to average somewhere between $3.75 to maybe $5 per lead. Okay, and I was if I could get anything under $5 a lead, I was pretty happy. I think we're at about a couple bucks, maybe just a little more than a couple of bucks per lead. All right, so we got the click, but then what percentage of people then actually opt in? All right, and so as he hones in and dials in on that, we should probably get a lower cost per click as well as a lower cost per lead. If I was at $2 per lead, I'd be very, very happy with that, particularly with our robust follow-up system, okay? All right. Now, the other thing that's going to happen is, as he's doing this campaign, if he sees that a certain headline or a certain ad verbiage is far outperforming, then what we'll be able to do in CRB is take that verbiage and go and create a capture page that really mirrors that verbiage, so that when someone clicks, when they go to the capture page is basically saying the same thing the ad said, so that you get a higher percentage of people that would actually opt in because the messaging is the same. Okay, so once he really locks in on the messaging, whatever is getting the best, not only CPC, cost per click, but the best opt-ins, will be able to adjust capture pages so that the capture pages mirror. Now you can see what he's done here is he's taken information from my capture page and put that into the ad. One of our capture pages talks about getting paid over and over and over again. It doesn't say even if you can't recruit, it says even if you suck at marketing. But obviously if somebody can't recruit, it's because they suck at marketing. Okay. Here's another one. Get paid over and over again. That's coming directly from the capture pages. He was very, and matter of fact, he was the one, he told me when we got him in the back office, I had him to go through and look at the capture pages, give us honest critique on the capture pages. He loved them. And what he said to me was, man, this is worth thousands of dollars, just having these types of capture pages and the the backgrounds and all that other good stuff, the quality, that's what I was looking for. He was saying, man, this thing's worth, this system of yours is worth thousands of dollars. So, all right, now, let's talk about the co-op, and then we'll get into some Q&A, okay? All right, so what we've done is we've hired a search traffic agency. They're going to do all of the testing and all of the tweaking, all right? And then they'll report back to me. Probably a couple times a week we'll connect with them, all right? They determine the keywords. We don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. Once we are fully functioning, We'll be fully functioning and testing in the next, probably the first of the week, because we would have gotten everything done that we needed to have done with the modification of Divvy's enrollment. Okay. Actually, I thought we were ready today, but I just noticed that when you are registering a new person with Divvy, excuse me, and they go to your link, there's that box that pops up that asks the person to allow Divvy to know their location, and we did not put that in our video, so I need to go back and recut that very brief video when people are getting started with you. All right, so there's going to be over 5,000 keywords or keyword phrases. You don't have to worry about that. I just want you to know that we're going to be when a lot of people go searching for stuff in network marketing, MLM, we're going to have ads there. Okay, they completely handle everything as it relates to the campaign. We've got our programmer today has gotten the capture pages with the proper tracking links and all that stuff. So all that's there. And now we're only going to open up the co-op to CRB members. All right. And let me tell you a couple reasons for that. Number one, I want to provide value. So this is a tremendous value to those of you that have believed enough in us to take a $1 test drive and $30 a month thereafter, or some of you did the annual subscription. Some of you have done the lifetime subscription. So I believe this search traffic co-op is going to be an answer to your traffic, some of your traffic questions or dilemmas or what have you, and you'll have the ability ultimately to scale up and what have you. Obviously, we've got folks that are following us that aren't necessarily in our Divvy business, and we want to help you too, but we also want to make sure that there's some type of exchange there, that it's fair. All right. And so if you're not on our team, you're not in our matrix, but you are still a CRB member, well, then we've got a nice equal exchange. See, that's a law of the universe. All right. That's a law of the universe. All right. If we sow, we should reap a little something somewhere. And, once you reap, then you sow some more so you can reap some more, so on and so forth. All right, so it's open to CRB members. The other thing is that we can make sure that we control the messaging so that people understand what to expect in the co-op. They're not expecting, nobody can guarantee opt-ins. No, obviously, the more clicks, then the more people are going to have opt-ins and what have you. Nobody can guarantee people are going to join, although we expect people are going to join because of the law of averages, all right? So only open to CRB members. The other thing this allows you to do as a CRB member is this gives you another talking point. This gives you another valued added service for people to join you in CRB. Now, why do we want people joining you in CRB? All right, because remember, you get to show off everything else that you're doing. All right, so that is a major, major part of CRB is you having your showcase, you having your team pop up, you being able to share whatever the rest of your marketing message happens to be with your following. Okay, so obviously there's going to be a traffic rotator. The way that will work is very simple. All right, for those of you who decide that you want to be in the co-op, you'll purchase one share. One share equals one link in the rotator. Okay, so we're going to grab a link from your back office, one that has the tracking code, all right? And we're going to put that link in the co-op, okay? So the way that would work, let's say there were 100 shares, all right? So there's 100 links. And John's got a link. Somebody sees one of the ads. They click on the ad. That's a click. And the rotator shows John's capture page. Now, John may get the opt-in. He may not. That person sees the page doesn't mean that they opted in. If they opted in, they're in John's system. Okay? Then there's another ad that's clicked on. All right? And whoever number 2 is, let's say that's Anita Hall. All right? Now, Anita Hall's capture page is there. That person who clicked on that ad, may or may not click on to, may or may not opt in. All right, that we don't know. What we do know And what we'll be able to not monetize. Well, what we'll be able to figure out in terms of the numbers is roughly how many, how many clicks are we getting, what our cost per lead is on average, and what our percentage opt-in rate is. Is it 16%? Is it 22%? Is it 30%? Is it 11%? What have you, okay? All right, so everybody that's in the co-op will have, everyone who gets a share, and you will be able to get more than one share, all right? For every share you have a link. So if you have 2 shares, you've got 2 links in the co-op. Okay, now we talked about consistency. So we've done something here to get the co-op started, and this may be how we do this going forward. I probably will be, because there is quite a bit of administrative work on setting up the co-op and what have you, okay? So 1 share is going to give you 3 months worth of search traffic. So if you purchase a share, even if you just purchase 1 share, all right, when the co-op starts, we are expecting the co-op to start around the beginning of June. All right, may not be right on June 1, but the beginning of June. And what that allows Divvee to do is some of these little things that we've been dealing with Divvee, hopefully some of those things would have gotten worked out. It'll be a smoother process. Doesn't mean it's going to be 100% smooth, but a smoother process. But this is what we know, all right, just based on how we see Divvee operating, that July 1 is going to be better, smoother than June 1. August 1 is going to be smoother than July and June and whatever today's date is, May the 4th, okay? So when you get a share, you've got 3 months worth of search traffic. So basically we're taking that budget, all right, from your purchase, and we're going to spread that out over 3 months. You'll make the full purchase. All right, we're not doing the whole month-to-month thing at this point. All right, you'll make the full purchase. That's going to cover you for 3 months. So that gives you steady, consistent traffic. You're not going to have this one day where you just have all this gargantuan amount of traffic. All right, but hopefully what will happen is every day, hopefully you'll start seeing some opt-ins. Okay. And obviously there'll be some days where you see more opt-ins than others and what have you. But nice, steady, consistent traffic, okay? So let's make sure we understand why we're doing that. One, this gives Divvee a chance to, instead of just turning on the floodgates with your budget, all right, and some things aren't as smooth today as we'd like them to be. First, we're not even starting the co-op right away, all right? I want him to test for the next few weeks to see what works the best, so that once the co-op starts, he already knows what works the best. Now we can turn on the spigot. But it's going to be in a controlled fashion with the traffic. That way, if he sees that a particular campaign is not working for us, we're getting a horrible cost per click, we're getting a horrible cost per lead, he turns that one off. All right, and if you go back, you'll see here that the great thing about search traffic is that you can test. You don't have to have a huge sum. So with this campaign, he only tested with $5.87. This one, $6.12. This one, $3.26. This one with $4.16. Okay, obviously with the co-op, these numbers are going to be much, much larger, which means more traffic with the rotators. Okay, give me just a moment. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do, because we want to make sure, we don't want to burn through people's hard-earned budget for traffic, okay? So we're going to limit it initially to 120 shares. That's it, okay? Could we get more? Sure. But we want to limit it to 120 shares, make sure things are working the way we want them to work. People are getting good cost per click. People are getting good cost per lead, so on and so forth. 20 of these shares I've set aside specifically, number one, for those that are lifetime CRBers. Some of you purchased the lifetime founder membership. All right, so I set aside some shares just for my lifetimers, and I'm going to have something special I'm going to share with you. That will be in a totally separate video going to my lifetimers. If my lifetimers don't take advantage of those 20 shares, then the next group I'm going to go to with those 20 shares, or any amount of those 20 shares that are still remaining, will be those that made the annual purchase. Now, why am I doing that? Because these folks made a big financial commitment. I won't say big. I don't think that's well, for some people, relatively speaking, it could have been big. Okay, in terms of the value, it's not big, but in terms of it, relatively speaking, it could have been big. So I want to make sure that if someone invests in what we're doing, if they became a lifetime CRBer with us, which means that any other funnels that we ever launch, they will have access to those funnels. They'll never pay one dime for any of those other funnels. Now, that's anything that I launch. If we happen to promote something that has its own funnel that I'm not in control of, I'm not in control of the pricing, obviously, I can't help that. But we've talked to our audience about launching sometime this fall, hopefully as early as this fall, a funnel dealing in the Bitcoin space next year, launching in the high ticket space. Basically, over the next 2 years, we'll have no less than 4 funnels, so that you can have minimum of 4 separate distinct income streams. And each one of those will have its own co-ops. I want you to hear that. Each one of those will have its own co-ops. See, the whole idea, the whole vision is, let's go down the road, we've got 3 funnels in place. We've got the CRB, we've got our DigiCoin Lab funnel, we've got a high ticket funnel, okay? And you would only have all those funnels if you were making money, right? Okay? Obviously, if you're a lifetime member, you'd have those because it would not cost you anything. But the whole idea now is that you got different campaigns. And so now we'll have a co-op for the Bitcoin funnel. We'll have a co-op for the high ticket funnel. And so all you're doing is scaling your business, saying, I want however many shares of the CRB funnel, which promotes Divvee, how many shares of the Digi funnel, which promotes digital opportunities, all right, how many shares of the high ticket funnel, so on and so forth. All right, so I'm hoping you're starting to grab the vision. You're starting to get the vision. All right, so for my lifetimers, over the weekend, I'm going to get, let me say, by the 1st of next week, I'm going to get a video out to my lifetimers first, give you an opportunity to respond with those 20 shares. If you eat up all the 20 shares, great. If you don't eat up all those 20 shares between my lifetimers, then we're going to go to our annual subscribers, and it's going to be on a first come, first serve basis. If you don't eat up those 20 shares, then that means that's 100 shares for everyone else. So it's not a lot, all right, of shares, and it's going to be on a first come, first basis, and there might be some people that buy 2 shares or 3 shares or what have you. So keep that in mind, and that's because we're just starting this co-op. All right, we don't want to burn your money. Then we can scale up from there, okay? All right. So what's my outlay? Well, there's going to be a one-time setup fee. Now, this one-time setup fee is for any co-op that we do, meaning when we come back and we do a YouTube paid traffic co-op, which is a game plan in probably 90 to 120 days, all right, if you want to be in the YouTube paid traffic co-op, that would be a one-time setup fee of $100, all right? If you are re-upping in the search traffic, all right, let's say your 90 days, your 3 months is up, and now you want to continue all right, and buy another share or 2 shares or however many shares it is, you won't have another $100 setup fee because we won't have to do all the work to get you set up, all right? Now, I wanted to offer some type of commission. We really can't offer the commission on the actual budgeted amount for the traffic unless we bump up that amount, all right? So there's a couple of systems out there that do pay commissions when someone buys a traffic package or what have you, but obviously you've got to inflate the amount for the traffic so that you can pay out commissions. We didn't want to do that, all right? What we really want to focus on here is the traffic. People getting good quality leads at a reasonable outlet. We are going to make this commissionable. $50 is going to go to your referrer. So let's say that, you know, maybe for whatever reason, you're not ready to participate in the co-op, or, you know, you weren't one of the first 120 shares or what have you. All right. So you have to wait until we open it up for some more folks. But somebody that you referred to CRB does do the co-op. Okay. Well, it's going to be easy for us to know who that person is tied to. So John does the co-op. We'll look in. We'll say, oh, Mary is John's referrer. Whether Mary has done the co-op or not, Mary's going to get a $50 commission. Okay? All right. So some of you, like Cristiano's got quite a few personal referrals. So he might have a few personal referrals that do this, whether he does it or not. And, you know, he'll get commission. All right. So how much is it for a share? $300. All right, $300, not $300 a month, $300, okay? That's going to get you 3 months worth of traffic. So really out of the gate, you've got a $100 setup fee, and you've got $300 for 1 share. That's going to give you 3 months of traffic. We expect around the first part of June to actually start the traffic for the co-op. That would give us between now and then to make sure we're getting everybody set up, making sure all your links are working, making sure that, you know, everything works the way it's supposed to. In the interim between now and the first part of June, our search traffic guy is going to be running traffic because I've already committed funds for him to do so that he could be testing, he could be tweaking. So by the time June-ish, June 1-ish, all right, starts. We'll let you know if it's June 1 or June 5. By the time it starts, he knows the ads that are pulling the best. If we needed to go back and change a capture page or two to resonate more with a particular ad, we've got time to do that. All right, and we've got time to make sure that everybody is in the traffic rotator and all of that is working just fine, okay? So when you really think about it, you're talking about $100 a month for traffic, for good quality, solid, consistent traffic. You're just doing that to cover 3 months worth, all right, for a share, all right? Now, some of you have more resources than others. Some of you might want to get more shares than others, and if so, we want to reward you. So we have a 3-1, get 1 free. All right, get 3, get 1 free, meaning if you purchase 3 shares, all right, that's a nice, decent commitment, right? That's 3 times 300, 900, plus your one-time setup fee. That's $1,000. If you purchase 3 shares, you're going to get 1 free, meaning you're going to get an additional link in the rotator, which normally would be $300 by itself, and you're going to get an additional month's worth of traffic for all of your links. So now you would have 4 links, all right, 4 shares versus, you know, 3, but those 4 shares would be in the rotator for 4 months as opposed to 3 months. Only do that if your resources allow and it's not going to hurt your family, what have you, okay? All right. So again, the limit is 120 shares. Now I'm doing the 100. I'm setting aside the 20 for my lifetimers. If my lifetimers don't eat up all those 20 shares, then we'll go to my annual folks with a very, very special offer to them. So my annual folks, my lifetimers, first part of the week, my annual folks, I'll let you know whether or not those 20 were taken. All right, because I've got something even more special for my lifetimers or for my annual folks. Okay, for my annual folks, you know, if the lifetimers take up these 20, then I'll let you know those 20 are gone. If they haven't taken up those 20, then I will also get that information out to our annual folks. So let's, 100 shares across the rest of our CRB audience if you're not a lifetimer or you're not an annual pay person, okay? And shares are going to be divvied out, first come, first serve, okay? That's the fairest way to do that. Now, procedures. We're only taking co-op purchases with Bitcoin. And if you do the math, 120 times, 400, that's $48,000. I am not going to run $48,000 through PayPal. All right. We're not at that point where we've been doing that type of volume consistently, and we would just assuredly have a flag. All right. So we're not going to risk that, number one. Number two, I'm not going to run that through PayPal because running that through PayPal charges. All right. So when you make a purchase of $100, we don't get $100 coming into the system because PayPal is going to get, a percentage of that. Well, with $48,000, again, 120 times 400, the $100 setup and $300 a share, that winds up being a little significant piece, okay? We don't have to deal with that with Bitcoin. The other thing that we're not going to do is I'm hoping that the only people that are going to be participating are going to be grown folks. And I think by now you probably know what gets up under my skin is grown folks that don't act like grown folks. Those people probably won't be around us long, which is great. All right, bellyachers and whiners, I love you, but you can't be around me. That just won't work, okay? But we've got to make sure that we protect everything that we're doing, that we don't have somebody who doesn't quite get it and then they want to, do chargebacks and it hurts what we're trying to do. So we know we don't have to worry about that with Bitcoin. All purchases are non-refundable, all right? We think that this is going to work very, very well. If you don't get the leads you want, if you don't get the what have you, okay, guess what? I have traffic campaigns that didn't go well, all right? I've invested thousands of dollars in traffic, and sometimes it went really well, sometimes it didn't. That's part of being an entrepreneur. That's part of being a business person. That's part of being grown, okay? If it didn't work for you, then don't re-up. All right, but we've got to protect what we're doing so we don't have somebody. I know of some folks that have done traffic, and what hurt them was chargebacks. All right, and so we're going to make sure that that doesn't happen. Again, I just want to make sure that there's no guarantee that you're going to get a certain amount of signups, no guarantee that you're going to get any of that kind of stuff. So only do this if this makes sense for you, and if you are a little jittery, don't do it. That's okay. Excuse me. That's okay. Not going to hurt us. We're not going to look at you any differently or anything like that, okay? No refunds. All right. So here is the procedure. Send in a support ticket only. Obviously, if you've got other support stuff, send a support ticket. Please, by the way, CRBers, use the support ticket system. Don't send in emails. I can tell you, if you send in emails, that's going to be seen last. All right? We look at support first, all right, before looking at emails, whether you're sending emails to support at clickrankingbank.com or clickrankingbank.com@gmail.com. We look at that last. We look at the support tickets first. All right, so only send in a support ticket when you are ready to do your 100 and your share or shares. So if you're just doing one share, you're talking 400. That means you've got that in Bitcoin ready to go. You just need a Bitcoin address to send your Bitcoin, okay? If that's not you, please don't send in a support ticket saying, hey, I'm going to have it next week or what have you. And the reason being is that just takes up support time, all right? Because we got, we see a ticket, we got to click onto it, we got to acknowledge it, we got to read it, and only for someone who's not quite ready, all right? So obviously, and one of the things we want to move our audience to, we want to move our audience into cryptocurrencies. We want to move you into using Bitcoin as a purchasing method. All right. So I'll make sure that you know how, if you don't have a Bitcoin wallet, I'll make sure that you have a link. And I think it was Brian Fussy who sent this to me. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. I make sure that you have a link so you can know, depending on what part of the world you might be in, where you can go to set up and then fund your Bitcoin wallet. Okay. All right. And once you are ready, then send in a support ticket with the subject that says, I'm ready for the co-op. What that tells us, all right, and of course, in the messaging, you'll let us know if you're buying 1 share or 2 shares. Remember, if you purchase 3 shares, so that's essentially $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, okay? $100 for your one-time setup, $300 times 3 shares. We're going to give you, instead of 3 links, we're going to give you 4. Instead of 3 months, we're going to give you 4 months, okay? So buy 3, get 1 free. So when you put in, I'm ready for the co-op, and you tell us how many shares you're purchasing, then we'll send you the Bitcoin address for you to send that via Bitcoin. Then we'll go to work to make sure that we've got you set up, getting set up in the co-op, so on and so forth, okay? So you'll be in the rotator, okay? Now looking forward, and I know I'm past my time, we'll finish with this, get into some Q&A, okay? Probably about 120 days or so out, give or take, we're going to launch a YouTube paid co-op. I want to have the first 90 days of the search traffic co-op, and then ultimately we want to have a YouTube paid co-op. So much the same thing in that people are going to be going in and searching for certain keywords, and we're going to have ultimately we're going to have ads. We could have ads on, like the right-hand side or above the video, but we could also have in-display ads. Those are the ads that before someone watches a video, they watch an advertisement and you've got 5 seconds. Well, the great thing about those ads is if someone sees your ad and they click out of your ad before, I think it's like 20 seconds, you're not paid for, you don't have to pay for that ad, okay? So you actually get some branding. And of course, that's video as opposed to just a capture page. So we're ultimately going to also have a YouTube paid co-op. Once we launch the Digi funnel, we'll have a co-op that will be specific, both search traffic and ultimately YouTube traffic for that. You stick with this, ladies and gentlemen. Traffic should never be another issue of yours. Now, you might not have a lot of resources right now, so some of you might not be able to get started. Some of you may only start with 1 share or what have you. You stick with us. You follow what we teach. You will ultimately start to make some money. You take a percentage of that money, and you're going to be able to have ultimately multiple streams of income, and much of it is going to come on autopilot. I want you to get that. Much of these multiple streams of income will come on autopilot. People didn't necessarily come to a webinar. You didn't have to pick up a phone, all right? Much of it's going to come on autopilot. And what we're going to do with all future co-ops, all right, they'll all start small before we start to scale up, just like, but what we'll do is we'll always come to those who have done co-ops with us before for first right of refusal. So if we launch the YouTube paid co-op and we only start off with 120 shares or 200 shares or what have you, the first people are going to have the option to be a part of that are going to be ones that have already been a part of any of our previous co-ops. Why? Because they already know what to expect. We don't have to teach them that. We don't have to worry about, they obviously they wouldn't be doing this co-op if they hadn't gotten good results on the previous co-op. So we want to reward those of you that really buy into our messaging. All right, so as we round third here, and I know I'm past my time, send in a support ticket only when you're ready to make your purchase. $100 one time. So if you're buying 3 shares, you're not doing $100 times 3. You're just doing the $100. Then you're doing 300. If you do three shares, then you do 300 times 3. Okay. By the way, keep in mind that if someone does that, and I'm sure there'll be a few that will, that is going to start to eat away at the number of shares. Now, I'm not counting that 4th share. All right. So if someone buys 3 shares, that's 3 of the 120 that we'll be dealing with. All right. I'm not counting that 4th share against the number that we still have in the co-op. All right. So hopefully everybody understands that. All right. So I'm going to stop there. All right. I'm going to stop there. I think that's it. Thank you for your time. I know we went over on time. I think I'm supposed to show something before we get into Q&A. Does anybody remember what I was supposed to show? I was supposed to show something. I'm supposed to show you real quickly making sure that your Divvee enrollment link, give me a moment. I need to make sure that you know where to put your Divvee enrollment link so all your pages are working correctly. Okay. Okay, so real quickly, and then we'll go into Q&A. So Queen, you can get ready for Q&A. In your back office of Divvee, and you go to Divvee.Social. You don't need HTTP, you don't need www, and you don't need .com. Just go to your browser and put in Divvee.Social, and that'll bring up where you can log into your back office with Divvee. You're going to then come under Profile, and here's your new Divvee link. All right, now, if you have people that are just waiting to join you in Divvee, get them this link. All right, even if they haven't gone through our capture pages or what have you, you've got people that are just waiting to join you in Divvee, get them this link. You don't have to do the whole invitation process like we were doing before. It's very, very simple. It's no different than any other referral link that you've used to get people into your network marketing business and what have you, okay? All right. Now, obviously, in our messaging, we want to make sure that when someone gets into your capture page, they watch the sales video. We know most people aren't going to join right then, but maybe in one of the follow-up sequences or what have you, they click on the call to action button, and we want to make sure that your link is embedded in there, all right, so that when the call to action is for them to join you in Divvee, and we walk them through the join process, and we say click on the link because the link says click here to join Divvee, that it's going to take them to your your Divvee link, okay? All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab this link right here. Okay, we're going to grab this link. We're going to come back. I may have been kicked out. All right, we're going to come back to your CRB back office. We're going to go under my personal profile. And right here, you're going to post your Divvee, whoops. Well, let me see here. You're going to post your Divvee link right here, and then you're going to click Save Changes, okay? So then what will happen is when someone, give me a moment. I don't have my, give me a moment. Let me log into another test account. You're not seeing my screen right now, so just bear with me. I need to make sure that I've got this one set up properly. Good. Good, 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 good. Okay. Bear with me. Okay, so when someone sees the call to action button and they click on the call to action button, what's going to happen is it's going to take them to this page. I just want to make sure. All right, it's going to take them to this page. All right, so this is it's the same page that we had before, but slightly different messaging. It'll tell them to watch this video to get started now. We're going to walk them through the Divvee enrollment process. I've got to change this video simply because the one thing that we neglected was when someone clicks on the link, it's going to ask them for their to allow Divvee to know their location. Okay, and so that's important because if we don't tell them that, they may say, no, I don't want them to know my location. So we need to let them know why Divvy's asking that, okay? And then they're going to click where it says, click here to join Divvee. And this is going to take them to your Divvee page here. I think this is a demo that I did here. I think this is. No, it's not. This is my son's site. Okay? All right, and so we would have told them in the video, hey, now you're going to get connected with your coach. When you click on the link that says click here to join Divvee, you'll meet your coach. That is your coach as well as your enroller. And just simply click where it says yes and start to go through the process, okay? All right, so make sure if you have CRB that you put your Divvee enrollment link, my personal profile, right here, and remember to save it. Okay, also make sure you've got your Zaxa order page. Far too many tickets when people say, hey, I sent somebody my link and they couldn't sign up, and then we go back and we say, well, they couldn't sign up because you didn't put your Zaxa link in here, which means that you didn't watch the very first video that's on the home page that we tell you to watch in the email that we send you, that we tell you to watch as soon as you come in. All right, so if you don't have your Zaxa affiliate link in there, you need to go in here and do the first works over, okay? All right, so I'm finished, Queen. Let's get to any questions that we might have.
When can I send you the Bitcoin for my share of the co-op?
Say again now?
When can I send you the link for my share of the co-op?
Oh, go and send in a support ticket. Say I'm ready. If you're, please only do this if you're ready. All right. If you're ready, then say, hey, I'm ready. That means you've got the 100 plus however many shares you're getting already in Bitcoin, and then we will send you the. We'll send everybody will have a separate, distinct Bitcoin address to send to, so we can match it, and it's easy for us to match it. And then, okay, John's taken care of. All right, he's got a co-op share. And then what the part of the admin part, Queen, and the reason it's that setup fee, because now we got to go in and we've got to make sure that everybody who's in the co-op has all their links in place. So each person we're going to go through, and we're going to go through your my personal info and make sure you got this in place, you got this in place, so that doesn't inhibit anything that you're doing. Now, I don't want somebody to opt into your capture page, click on the call to action button, and then nothing happens because you don't have that in there. Okay, so just send a support ticket. Send it tonight. Now you probably won't get that tonight because I got something I gotta cut another video for my programmer tonight and get that to him because he's 12 hours ahead of us. But as soon as we get into support, we'll send you what you need. Next question.
Did Lance give an update on Australia? Because someone from Australia is saying they can rank and share, but they didn't get any points.
Oh, well, if you can rank and share in Australia, that's a huge win.
It is,
fantastic.
actually.
Now, you might not see the points because even those that are in the U.S. aren't necessarily seeing points in real time. All right, so a lot of people are ranking and sharing, not seeing points in real time, but everything is being tracked. And that is definitely one of the things that he's working on, or have the team working on, to make sure that people are able to see their points. But I didn't know that my Australians were had content they were able to rank and share. I'm fantastic to hear that.
Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, that someone's talking about a password for Google Voice. 956. I'm not sure if you know what that is about. In the future, will you be able to accept credit cards?
I personally, I don't know. I don't know that we even want to go that route. I want to go more towards the Bitcoin route.
Yeah. Credit cards are a little dangerous when you're dealing with.
Real dangerous, very dangerous. We know of too many great ideas, great companies, great systems that are not here because of fraud and credit card fraud and what have you. And the way it normally works is somebody, maybe they steal somebody's credit card stuff, they set up accounts, they make purchases, underneath them they get the commissions, and then they charge it back. And we know of too many great ideas, concepts that are no longer here. One company, great company, My Harvest America, I was told, I think Bruce told me this, $11 million in 1 month in fraudulent chargebacks. Just killed the company. So probably not. Now,
okay,
now, if a person needs to do a credit card, they want to do the shares, but they need to do a credit card. Let me post a link. I think Brian Fussy, our dear buddy down there in Mexico, headed back to Canada at some point. He's really huge into Bitcoin, and so he sent me this, so I'm just putting this in your chat box, and you'll find a number of options where you can actually purchase Bitcoin with a credit card. You'll pay a slight premium, but that might be a great way for you to go if you wanted to do the shares and use other people's money. Obviously, make sure if you do that you can afford the servicing of that purchase. Okay, so I have that in there. So if you needed to use credit card to do Bitcoin, there's more than one option for you to do that there. But then, Queen, we don't have to accept the risk. Next question.
Okay, basically, when renewing the co-op or join the co-op, the amount is in U.S. dollars, correct? Because Bitcoin will fluctuate in price, but whatever Bitcoin you purchase for the U.S. dollar amount.
Yeah, it's going to be $300 per share in Bitcoin. So obviously, the amount of Bitcoin that you need to send in to cover that, and with most of your Bitcoin wallets, what you can do when you're making a purchase or when you're sending money or what have you, you can say I want to send a certain amount of Bitcoin, or you can say I want to send a certain amount in U.S. dollars or Euro dollars, and then your system will calculate what that means in terms of Bitcoin with whatever the pricing of Bitcoin happens to be during that time.
Are there any banners available for us to use?
Not yet. There's just been other priorities. I was hoping to get to the banners this week. We didn't get to it this week, so that is very high on our to-do list. Once we submit the banners, it only takes about 72 business hours. So I'm hoping to submit those banners the first to the middle part of next week. So we could have banners as early as the end of next week or the first of the week thereafter. We've just had a lot going on. Some of that dealing with this co-op. Something also dealing with our international folks. Queen and I were on a extremely enlightening conference call on yesterday. I won't choke you with too much information, but some things that we're working on behind the scenes as well. So banners are certainly a top priority. We should have banners submitted sometime first to the middle part, more like the middle part of next week, which means we could have banners as early as the end of next week, more likely the first of the week after that. Next question.
Do you have a list of where folks can buy Bitcoin?
I just posted that in your chat box.
That's a list of where they can buy it, not just the credit card.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of, and in case you are on a mobile device and you can't see that in your chat box, here is the URL right here. I'll go to it real quickly so you can see. There's a.
Okay. Oh, okay. So there's a web page that has a list of places.
Oh my gosh, it's got plenty. See, Brian is really into Bitcoin. So he's been a Bitcoin student, and I mean a whole bunch of places. Get a Bitcoin wallet, and it tells you these, and mobile and desktop wallets.
I have a few more minutes.
Okay.
All right. Is there going to be a reward for those that were in RAS and didn't make any money?
That's called business. CRB is totally separate and distinct. You know, that's what happens in business, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, what you're saying now, I will tell you this, Queen.
Yes.
I wanted to do a co-op for RAS.
Right.
And that's all I'll say. I wanted to. So I love the person that's behind RAS. He and I don't always see eye to eye. And I wanted to do a co-op, and I was told, don't do a co-op.
Okay.
So
I mean,
and I'm only saying that so that that person understands that you know, if you were in 1X and you didn't make money, I can't do anything about that. All right. All I can do is put things together to give you the best chance to succeed.
That's exactly right.
That's all we can do. Okay.
Do you, did in Lance's update, did he say when the folks, such as Canada, the ones that are going to be opening up soon, will be seeing their points?
Well, again, I don't know. Even folks in the U.S. aren't necessarily seeing all of their points. What he did say is that the seeing of the points is a very top priority.
Right.
Because obviously when people see points, they know that points are they're going to be able to redeem them. And, you know, we don't quite know what all that means just yet. You know, what can you redeem them for? Of course, there is the Redemption Center, but I don't know if they need to update that or what have you. So right now we don't know, like, let's say if somebody does 1,000 points for the month, all right? We don't know yet what that means if there were gift cards, what that means in terms of what that looks like in terms of dollars going to a gift card. We'll figure that out as we go along. We don't know yet, though. So the points are not necessarily real time. I do know that in the U.S., some folks are showing points. But what he did say is that everything's being tracked. So even if you don't see the points are there, and once everything is showing properly, you'll see the points.
Okay, can I use a bit.ly link for my Divvy link in the back office?
Do you mean you're going to put what in the CRB back office? Put in
the long Divvy link. Can I use a bit.ly link that
doesn't matter? No, I would use your Divvy link if you're talking about CRB. Now, if you're talking about using a bit.ly
CRB.
Link, yeah, because what your bit.ly link is going to do anyway is when someone clicks on that link, it's going to show that long URL. You're not giving anyone that URL. What's happening is that URL, from a CRB perspective, is tied to the call to action button. Once that call to action button pops up, whether it's on the sales video or whether it pops up on one of the sales pages, then when they click on that, they're going to your Divvy link. So I wouldn't use I wouldn't complicate anything just from a technological standpoint. I wouldn't use bit.ly for the back office. I might use bit.ly if I was tweeting something. I might use bit.ly if I was doing something on Facebook or what have you, just to see if I'm getting clicks and that type of thing. But I would not do it for your back office in CRB.
Or if I'm sending out a text message or anything that I need to shorten link for.
Oh, sure, yeah.
How about money orders or checks?
Bitcoin. I want to get it. Let's start getting used to it. This is where the world is going, and yeah, Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. Is it all right? Is it okay to start running traffic to CRB funnel now? So, or should we wait until Monday?
You can run to CRB now. Let me tell you what would happen if someone clicks onto the call to action button. They're going to come here, okay? And they're going to watch this getting started video. And the one thing that we did not say is there's going to be a button that says Divvy wants to know your location. Make sure you click allow. That's the one thing we omitted. We forgot to mention that. So as soon as we get off tonight, that's what I'm going to cut to get to my programmer so he can get it into the system. And we very well may have that in the system, this weekend. If you are comfortable sending traffic without that, then go on and send traffic. You're ready to go. If you want to know that part is in, then, let us give you the go ahead when that go ahead is there. Okay. So that's on you. That's on you.
Okay. 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Not sure how someone in Australia got signed up. I have tried your referral link and it says it's not available in Australia. Someone is in Australia, they clicked on your link and they can't join because it says it's not available.
Oh crap. See, when someone said that Australia was doing ranking share, I
was happy too.
I was assuming that they could join in Australia. I have to connect with Lance on Bermuda, or Gale Ventures is going to get me. We'll ask about Australia. I don't have an answer for you. I don't have an answer for you right now.
Doc.
Yes.
I think you should, before we leave here, give a teaser, because in 3 weeks we have some great news coming to folks. In about 3 or 4 weeks.
You don't think that's going to choke people?
No, I just said you don't have to give them all of the information. I just say tell them, let them know that you're working on some cryptocurrency stuff.
Okay.
That they're really going to enjoy.
Well, obviously, one of the things that we know is that we're not we're not operating at full cylinders anywhere with Divvee. Obviously, much closer in the U.S. and Canada and the U.K., and then I think there's a few other countries that will be following that. We're not going to wait until we're up to full cylinders to start doing traffic, and that's why we have the co-op and what have you. Because the co-op is about building your following. So even that person that is in Australia that can't join Divvee right now, I would say if you're not already, at least join CRB, all right? Because we don't have that issue with you not being able to join CRB. Join CRB. One of the big things that you're going to have in CRB in your back office is going to be your showcase, so that you can showcase any and all, that's not the one I want to show, but any and all of your wares. Now, we don't want to wait however long it's going to be, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, for our internationals outside of those countries we just talked about to really be in a good position to make some money. One. Number two, while we plan to launch our next funnel this fall, we don't want to wait to then before we position you to where you can make some money. So Queen and I and Uncle Roo, who has been a part of our leadership team and following for years, we had an extensive meeting yesterday with a gentleman who is a Bitcoin Queen. Did that dude know his stuff?
Cryptocurrency. Might as well say all of it because it's not just Bitcoin.
Queen, did that dude know his stuff?
He knew his stuff.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was a student. I just kept asking a whole bunch of questions. Huh? What'd you say?
John said he didn't want to know. He wants to sleep tonight.
Well, listen. You follow us, we will lead. We're gonna lead anyway, all right? But you follow us, we will lead. We'll have things, some awesome things for all of our audience, but certainly our international audience. Now, if you're in the U.S., all right, because I want to make sure I don't give you too much information too soon. I don't want to choke you with information, okay? You're in the U.S. and rank and share is going really well, and you're doing your rank and share, and you're in the co-op, or you're doing Craigslist, or you're doing some way to generate some traffic. And if you just need to be laser focused on that, then you be laser focused on that. All right. At the same time, we got to make sure that our larger audience outside of the U.S. and Canada, or what have you, are in a position to make some really good money while they're waiting for Divvee to come into the area. And we got to have something in place even before we're ready to launch a full-scale funnel, a full-scale portal. So just stick with us. There's some stuff coming. That's all I can say right now, Queen.
That's exactly right. I mean, you can't say a whole lot. Just know that it is huge. And we're excited.
Yep.
And you will be excited too.
Yep. Yeah.
One quick question. Is Raz a scam?
No. Heavens no. No. Raz is I love the platform and the system. I absolutely love it. There were a couple of modifications that were made that I don't like. It's not my system, so I can't control it. And I've had more than enough conversations expressing, hey, I think this is a mistake. I think we need to do this. But that's somebody else's system. I can't tell somebody else what to do. I can say, I think you need to do this, but at some point, Queen, it made more sense for us to launch something that we could control, that we can do co-ops or what have you. And I don't want to get into it because I like that guy. And I don't want anybody, I'm not foo-fooing on him, and I'm not foo-fooing on the system. I love the system. I absolutely, Queen, you know how much I love that system. I love
Yes, I
that
do.
system.
That's why I wanted to clarify that question because
Yeah.
it came in.
Yeah, but there were a couple modifications that were made after we were promoting Raz that I wanted to see changed before I promoted the way I promoted it before. And
Because I would have put you off the webinar already.
what you mean?
I mean, just because of time.
Oh, okay. Oh, you want to make sure that was addressed. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. No, Raz, phenomenal system, and I pray that a couple of modifications that we would like to see made are made, and if they are, we'll talk a lot more about Raz, but it will be from a CRB perspective, because the one thing, here's what my wife got on me about, Queen, because what you see right now, what we're doing in CRB, we started this 2 years ago. Obviously, there was no Divvee, but I started this 2 years ago, putting all this stuff together. But I stopped because I was I stopped to do, promote somebody else's system. And my wife said, it's time for you to take control. That's one of the reasons, Jeff White, all right? What Jeff told me, Queen, he said, I'm tired of giving my all to these companies that then screw us. Excuse my language. That's when, he made the decision he was going to do his own products and launch his own products where he was in control. And what he said to me was this. He said, if I have to go down, let me go down with it, with my name on the paper. I screwed up. I messed up. It was all about me, not some other company. So with CRB, I don't have to ask anybody's permission, Queen, to do a co-op.
That's correct.
Let's do a co-op.
Let's do a co-op.
Yeah. So great system. I love that. Oh, I love that system. Oh, I love that system, Queen. I just need a couple things to be changed.
I know. I mean, and you waited for that system for a very long time.
3 years.
So
that's how much I love that system.
It's not a scam. Yeah. It's not a scam.
Yeah, I waited 3 years. 3 years, Queen. I waited for 3 years.
Yes. Okay.
Is that it?
We've already rounded third, so you may say goodnight now.
All right, love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together. Starting with yours, your call to action is right here. With that being said, is that the one? Yep. All right. There's your call to action. We love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together. Starting with your, oh man, I got to get this thing loaded up too for the people who weren't here. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to get off. I got work to do.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone. Click, rank,
click,
and bank.
And bank.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.